Good day everybody, Mark here from Biosynergy Health. Thanks for stopping by. Look, I've talked about this before and I'm going to be talking about it in the future all the time. Why? Because it's a big issue. Consistency, or inconsistency I should say. It's one of the biggest hurdles I have seen over the last 11 years working with over 10,000 people. If there's one thing that I see commonly come through, which causes so many problems because we don't know what the hell's going on, is that we're being inconsistent about what we're doing. We'll try one thing, it doesn't work, or it works for a little bit, then we stop it, and we do try something else, then we stop it, and we try something else, then we stop it, and before we know it, we have a cupboard full of supplements, and we have no idea why we stopped taking them, and we probably had no idea why we started taking them in the first place. Well, all I've got to say is inconsistent input is always going to generate inconsistent output. We've got a lot of people running around in circles, frustrated, very, very sick and tired of being sick and tired and wondering what's going on. How on earth are you going to be able to work out what is going on? How on earth are you going to be able to problem solve if you're not being consistent in what you're doing? Even if you're consistent in doing the wrong things, at least you need to know. This is one of the things that I cover a lot with my coaching and my training, is the consistency, being able to track, being able to interpret how the body is responding. Because if you don't, it's just pot luck. You might get it right, you might not. The odds are you're not going to get it right because you're being so inconsistent with your approach. So please, I just don't want you to underestimate the importance of being consistent with hydration, being consistent with making sure that you're taking some vital minerals, being consistent with making sure you get magnesium into you, being consistent to making sure you're getting boron or borax into you, being consistent to make sure you do some grounding, being consistent that you're being very mindful of your mind and your emotional well-being, being consistent on all these things. Because when you are consistent, it's a lot easier to problem solve, okay? And I know why. I know why you are inconsistent, okay? Remember, working with so many people over so long, there's very little I haven't seen. There's very few patterns of ill health that I have not seen. I've seen a lot, and there are thousands of them. But I understand the frustration, I understand why the inconsistency is there, and that's because you have no idea what's going on. You have no idea of being able to, or not a lot of idea, not many ideas about what's going on and how your body's responding to what you're doing. So then it becomes a symptom thing. Oh well, yeah, took that for a while, I've still got some headaches, I'll stop taking that, and I'll try this and I'll try that. And what you're doing, you're putting your body into absolute chaos. And then you're wondering why things aren't working. You're wondering why you don't seem to be getting any traction forward. And I understand that. And next year, you are all going to be given the opportunity of joining a program that will help teach you how to be more consistent, but I guess more importantly, being able to interpret what on earth is going on inside your body and how your body's responding to what you're doing, so that you can accelerate the whole process of healing. This is what I do. This is what I do with my coaching. It's accelerated healing. Why? Because we're monitoring what we're interpreting what the body's, how the body's responding. We're monitoring closely, and we're being consistent about what we do. There's nothing wrong with it's no big deal getting things wrong, but what is a big deal is not knowing that you did get it wrong. Okay? We don't want to wait 6 to 8 weeks to realize that what we started 8 weeks ago is not working. We need to know straight away. That's how I healed myself very, very quickly. That's how I turned my life around from precancerous, cardiovascular disease, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, you name it. When I was sick, when I got into this work, The reason why I was able to turn everything around so quickly is because I was not only consistent, but I monitored on a daily basis how my body was responding to what I was doing, and whether it was positive or negative. And if it was negative, I did less. If it was positive, I did more. You need to know this too. And with this knowledge and with this understanding, you're able to get yourself into a situation where you can have a lot more control over your own health and well-being, and that needs to happen. And you're not going to be able to take control unless you learn these things and you focus on these things. Now, you don't need to do a course to learn how to be consistent. It's something you can start doing now. How many people am I talking to right now that are inconsistent with hydration? And our body's 75% water. Biochemistry can't even happen without hydration. How do we get nutrition into the cells without hydration? How do we get toxins out of the cells without hydration? How does our lymphatic system work without hydration? How do we have flow in our body without hydration? If we don't have flow, what do we have? Slow death. So, yeah, consistency. Sorry, I've got sniffles here a little bit. It is, it's very cold, I can tell you, but it's beautiful. But anyway, that's all I've got to say. I've said it a few times before, and I will say it a few times a lot in the future. Just keep an eye out for, I'm going to have some information out soon about a project that's going to go a long way to teaching you and helping you understand what I do at the level that you can actually understand it, articulated in such a way that you can relate to it. But being consistent is so important. Have a good day.